anyway, I'm just gonna keep chugging along to make sure that there's actually some content in this stream. It's not just me testing to make sure that things look okay. Anyway, we're gonna be making some Aurora Borealises and some other things. You guys can see the minis in the corner that I have made previously. I want to test out some things. Just kind of get my feet wet into the year. And so we're going to be doing an Aurora 2 different ways. What about the extra canvases? Okay, so to start things off, like I said, we're going to be doing it 2 different ways. And so the first way we're going to be doing sort of like a wet into wet type of Aurora Borealis. So I'm just gonna put down some black. Gonna mix in some blue. Gonna try and add in some more blue, because I think I had way too much black. I'm gonna put down some green as well. Yeah, I definitely had too much black on my canvas. It's okay. We can work with it, guys. We can work with it. New year, we are learning from our mistakes already. So we kind of have some faint color going on in there, right? We got some green, we got some blue. Now we're gonna get some white. And usually if I'm doing this on a bigger canvas, then I will use a fan brush for a lot of this. I don't know about using a fan brush because all my fan brushes are pretty substantial in size compared to the canvas that I'm currently working with. So, yeah, don't know about that. So we got some waves, some white in there on top of our black and blue and green mixture. And so I'm going to get a brush and I'm going to be very, very gentle, very, very gingerly. That is a thing that people say, or at least used to say. I don't think it's but anyway, we're going to lift straight up. Barely apply any pressure. You want to be very, very careful because you just want some very, very nice clean streaks. And you can see some of the green got picked up, some of it. Okay, and now we're gonna do the same with the lower one. There we go. So it's not giving very colorful right now. Play some more music because it's just got this awkward silence now. At least it seems awkward to me, but it's probably actually not that bad. You guys just listening to my voice, you know. I don't have a terrible voice, but I think I sound a bit like a child. like when I hear myself talk, I don't sound like a 30-year-old woman. And a lot of the times I like purposely try to make my voice sound a little deeper because I'm aware of how childish I sound usually. But anyway. So we got our auroras in there. I'm gonna actually put in another layer so it can capture some of that blue. We're just pulling straight up, and then we're cleaning our brush. Pulling straight up, cleaning our brush. Pulling straight up, clean the brush. Pull straight up, clean the brush. Now we're going to put in some mountains. You guys know I love a good mountain. Just getting some black and some blue. Mixing that in there. And I am using an angled brush just so I can have a little bit more control and get some more triangular shapes in there. But you don't have to use an angled brush. It's just something that I like to do. I find that I have more control that way. We're just gonna put in a mountain ridge. I don't want them to be too triangular, you know? My mountains, they do have their peaks and their whatnots. I can't think of mountain anatomy right now, but oh, that is too blue. We need some black. They do have their things that make them their peaks and valleys, I think. There's not really like a valley is a part of the mountain, you know what I mean? But you know, they have their high points, their midpoints, and low points. And still with my brush being dirty. Just gonna start putting in some snow. But this is, we're putting in our mid-range right now. Our snow is like still like a very, very dark gray. And our light is mainly, well, it's coming like from behind, right? Kind of like a spotlight almost. I feel like these colors are so dark it almost looks black and white. But there is like slight tints of greens and blues within the sky. It's just not super vibrant. And that is something that happens sometimes when you're doing it wet into wet, especially if you put too much black down like I did. But now I'm going to go in with a different brush. I'm going to try and get, I'm going to pick up some of that dirty color still. But it is a tad bit lighter. I'm going to start applying more snow. And I'm gonna go in with my liner brush. I'm just gonna start putting in some highlights on the snow. I'm just doing straight white right now, and if other colors get picked up, so be it. Now at the peaks of the mountain, there should be more snow because it's going to be colder up there. It's going to be more compacted. I think that looks pretty neat. Gonna get a little bit of water here. And now we're gonna put in some snow. I thought I didn't wash the brush, but apparently I did. Trying to put in some, like the appearance of like some snow mounds and like snow hills and stuff. Try to give it a little bit more personality. And then I'm gonna put some trees in the distance. So this whole painting really has muted tones because I started off with way too much black on my canvas, but just scoot that a little bit. There we go. I am mixing some black and some green together right now.
So you can still see a bit of the color.
I promise you there's color in this piece. This is not black and white.
I promise you there's color. It'll probably show, the color will show up a little bit more once I apply some varnish on it, but it's still probably gonna be some low light, to be honest with you. Just gonna mix some white with this greenish color that I already have. So there's like snow on top of the trees. I think I'm gonna put some bigger trees in the foreground. Making them a little bit more green. Don't want it to be too green. Now adding a touch of white. So you can see some snow. A little too heavy-handed over here, so I'm just gonna redo some of these trees. There we go. That's better. Okay, so this is the first way for an Aurora Borealis. It's a little, like I said, the colors can tend to be a little muted when you do it wet into wet, and so you have to honestly, if you want to build up some more color back into the piece, so we have it like this, right? Oh shoot, I touched the edge and smudged my trees. Okay, so we have the piece like this. It's already made, right? If you want to put some more color back into it, wet your brush, and you can go around. Like the green was on this side, and there was some blue on the other side. Well, this is kind of getting into the second way, so I don't want to do too much. You can see there's a little bit more green. Okay, so the second way, which is not wet into wet, I'm actually just going to start straight on the canvas. The canvas is already black. Normally, if you have a white canvas, you would paint it black or whatever. But since this canvas is already black, I'm just gonna go ahead and start painting on it. I'm gonna start straight with white. going to make my Aurora squiggles. I want us to do it in like a similar pattern as the ones over here. We're gonna pull straight up with the white. Oh. Looks like we need a little bit more moisture. I don't know, why did it dry so fast? That's crazy. And it's pretty much already dry, but I'm just going to use the blow dryer on it real quick. Alright. Blow dryer has been used. Okay, so now we have our Aurora stuff. It's already dry. So now we're going to get like a watered down set of the colors. So it was supposed to be blue on this side. And it's supposed to be green on the other. It's supposed to be like a meeting in the middle. That didn't translate well. Like I said a bunch of times during this stream, I applied way too much black in the initial setup. Okay, so we have all this going on. It's a lot brighter. It will dry and it'll look different, but it's a lot brighter than the wet into wet option. Now, like I said before, I know I keep saying it, but I just want to reiterate, I had way too much black. It normally wouldn't be this muted with the colors, but I'm just throwing it out there. Now we're going to get our mountain color again. Oh, that's the mid-tone. That's not the color we want. Now I'm adding the mid-tones to the mountain. I feel like I'm not being super careful. As careful as I should be. trying to make this as similar as possible to the
Other one, especially like the mountain ridges and stuff.
I feel like
It's a little too.
I don't know. It's a little messy looking. I feel like these mountains are. Gonna try and clean it up some. Bring some darkness back into this. While that black is setting and drying, I'm going to add some more of our greens and our blue, our night sky. Alright. Now, what did I do next? I did the snow mounds. Oh, looks like I forgot to... I keep touching sides I should not be touching. Let me have to dry a little bit before I mess with it again.